Hello there, I'm Raj Hans for Bible Harbor. One of the offices in some Christian organizations or churches is the office of a priest. Now, it might be worthwhile to examine the scriptures regarding this particular office and ask the question, are priests necessary? To consider that, it will be helpful for us to understand the purpose of the priesthood as instituted by God. Hebrews chapter 8, verse 3. For every high priest is ordained to offer gifts and sacrifices. Now, why did the priests and the high priest offer these gifts and sacrifices? Well, they were offered to atone for and forgive the people's sins. Verse 6. Now, when these things were thus ordained, the priests went always into the first tabernacle, accomplishing the service of God. But into the second went the high priest alone once every year, not without blood, which he offered for himself and for the errors of the people. So the regular priests performed this service to God daily, and the high priest performed a special service once a year on the Day of Atonement. Whether it was the regular priest or the high priest, the purpose of the priesthood was to atone for the people's sins. Now, let's note what the scriptures say about Jesus Christ. Chapter 8, verse 11. But Christ, being come a high priest of good things to come, by a greater and more perfect tabernacle, not made with hands, that is to say, not of this building, neither by the blood of goats and calves, but by his own blood, he entered in once into the holy place, having obtained eternal redemption for us. Having obtained what? Eternal redemption for us. Now, according to the Bible, Jesus Christ entered the holy place once, that is, before God himself, and obtained eternal redemption for us. If that is the case, is there still a need for priestly service? Hebrews chapter 7, verse 26. For such a high priest became us, who is holy, harmless, undefiled, separate from sinners, and made higher than the heavens, who needeth not daily, as those high priests, to offer up sacrifice. What does it say? Who needeth not daily, as those high priests, to offer up sacrifice, first for his own sins, and then for the people's. For this he did once, when he offered up himself. What the priest did daily, and the atonement that the high priest did every year, Jesus Christ has accomplished once and for all. And now, according to the scriptures, he continually appears in God's presence on our behalf. Chapter 9, verse 24. For Christ is not entered into the holy places made with hands, which are the figures of the true, but into heaven itself, now to appear in the presence of God for us. Now, if Jesus Christ has paid the ultimate price of his life for our redemption, and now appears in the presence of God continually on our behalf, is there any requirement for an earthly priest? Well, the scriptures again provide the answer. Because of the work of Christ, God says, and their sins and iniquities will I remember no more. Now, where the remission of these is, there is no more offering for sin. Because Jesus Christ has once and for all dealt with the problem of sin by offering up himself, there is no longer any more offering for sin. Since there is no longer a requirement for any offering for sin, the office of an earthly priest is no longer necessary. Jesus Christ has been appointed the one and only high priest who appears in the presence of God on our behalf. Because of his ministry, the earthly priesthood, a figure or shadow of the greater priesthood, is no longer required. Any attempts by earthly priests to absolve or for the sins of mankind are entirely and utterly futile. For Jesus Christ has dealt with the problem of sin once and for all, and now appears in the presence of God for us. Look at Hebrews 4:15. For we have not a high priest which cannot be touched with the feeling of our infirmities, but was in all points tempted like as we are, yet without sin. Let us therefore come boldly onto the throne of grace, that we may obtain mercy and find grace to help in time of need. God's blessings to you.